Hello and welcome to The Franchise. This is episode number 25, our silver anniversary.
I was just going to say that same thing.
Yeah.
Damn it.
That's right, son. Great minds. All right.
That's true.
I'm your host, Daniel Ehrenberg.
And I'm your host, Henry Papali, and with us today we have a very special guest, our old dear friend, Aaron Farinelli.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
It is our pleasure.
Now, Aaron chose as his starting point as a guest Predator, the classic John McTiernan action movie. Is this the first time we're doing it like franchise crossover with a director, Hank?
Ooh, it might be. I think it might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the fellow who directed Die Hard. Now we're talking about his previous film.
His first studio film.
Whoa.
Right,
Yep.
after Nomads.
Right.
His student film.
Like I said, yeah.
Yeah. So, Aaron, why'd you pick Predator?
Well, I figured, for my first appearance, I got to pick something big, something that, is action-packed and something I know a little something about. This is a movie I've arguably seen at least 50 times. At least, yeah. So, and this has, it's a movie that has a lot of little factoids and whatnot to find, like where there's some movies that are just kind of, just there.
And it's a movie too, Aaron, right, that you and me and Dan have referenced and talked about throughout the years, like many times, like just quoting.
You both have seen it way more than me, though.
Yeah, well, I know, I figured that. Yeah, like when Aaron and me first met, I think this was one of the first movies we probably ever discussed.
I think when we first met, we did that, like, Schwarzenegger, Carl Weathers, like
That's right.
Dutch Dillon handshake.
We did the midair arm wrestle.
And this is before even knowing each other. We're just like coincidentally doing that, and so we're like, you know what? We might have to be friends now.
Yeah.
Aaron, you did that to me once, and I didn't understand that it was a reference to something until I watched this movie yesterday.
and he broke your arm when he did it, right? Your arm just kind of fell on the other direction.
Not arm so much, but you got a tight grip, Aaron.
Yeah. That's funny. So you didn't realize at the time what he was doing?
No, I just thought it was a weird quirk, and so I went along with it.
Yeah, you'll find out most of my weird quirks are probably just movie references.
Fair enough. Well, I think it's a good pick. Christian Toto, take notes. Fucking Austin Powers. So glad to be on the backside of that franchise.
Goddamn right.
Groovy, baby.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. How about a franchise update, guys?
let's do
Let's
it.
do it.
I've got some news. I'm going to read some bulletins, and you can tell me your thoughts.
All right.
All right. James Wan, the director of The Conjuring and Saw, you know that fella?
Oh,
Yep.
He's producing the new Mortal Kombat movie, and he just hired this commercial director guy to make it for him.
Okay.
Well, it can't be any worse than Annihilation.
I love Annihilation, dude.
I've never seen any of the Mortal Kombats. Only
The first one isn't bad. The second one, it just seemed like they ran out of time. They're like, shit, we have a whole bunch more characters to throw in it. Just throw them in there. And they were just killing off characters as soon as they were introducing them.
It's an incredibly bad movie, but I saw Mortal Kombat Annihilation in theaters, having never seen the first movie and never played a Mortal Kombat game.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
I just remember being like, this is fucking insane. And I was into it.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
Wow. Because I remember playing the game on when I had a Sega Genesis. That's what I loved that game.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
I snuck into Mortal Kombat Annihilation after going to see The Thin Red Line in theaters. That's the type of kid I was.
That's great, man. Because
Yeah.
you've referenced stuff like that in the past, where you did like the double feature of like what was it, The Insider and like
And Pokemon. Yeah.
So now you did a Terrence Malick joint followed by Mortal Kombat. That's fantastic.
That's correct.
It's virtually the same story when you think
Yeah,
about
it kind of is.
Mm-hmm.
Finish him.
Okay. Mark Forster. You know that director?
Yeah, Monsters Ball.
Yeah, didn't he do a Bond?
He did Quantum of Solace, and he also did World War Z.
There you go.
Oh,
Impressed that I know all that. Wow.
That's right. His next film is a live-action Winnie the Pooh movie.
what?
Yeah.
Right. That's the follow-up to World War Z, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not interested, though.
I'm fascinated how they're going to do it. I mean, I'm a big fan of Winnie the Pooh. The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh is my favorite Disney movie of all time.
That's the original animated one, right?
Right, from the 60s.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that one's really good.
I love that movie. And so the prospect of a live-action Winnie the Pooh movie sounds insane to me because they're supposed to be stuffed animals. So are they going to be like full-sized animals?
Well, but won't they just be like live people with the CGI bear? I mean,
there's only one person in Winnie the Pooh, dude.
Yeah, I know. So all the creatures, what are they going to be? They're not going to look like they look in fucking Disney World wearing the big hats and the fucking costumes,
But
right?
what are they going to look like? They're not even really animals. Like, Winnie's a poo.
Yeah, but I didn't think they were going to be able to pull off where the wild things are. But they did that.
Good point.
That
Yeah, but
perfect.
the wild things aren't real. Like, they're fake creatures. Like they're doing a live-action Lion King now. What the fuck's that going to be?
I don't know. Another one I'm not going to see.
Disney's going insane, man. I didn't see
Yeah.
that Jungle Book. Did anyone see that?
No.
No.
Yeah, maybe that would give me a better idea of what to look for.
John Favreau's The Jungle Book.
That's right. Okay, Rachel Goldenberg, not familiar with that Jew. She's directing a musical remake of Valley Girl.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
That's
Well, my
taking its
interest
first
level
franchise steps.
Everything you've said so far, zero interest level. I'm really excited for what's coming next.
I'm pumped for this Mortal Kombat movie.
Well, you would be. That's fine.
Aaron, what do you think? Do you think they'll use that same song again? Is that
From Mortal
enough?
Kombat?
Yeah, is it enough of a classic for them to reuse it?
What they'll do is they'll do like a Skrillex like dubstep remix. So
Oh,
it'll be
you're
the same
totally
song.
right.
Oh, it's gonna go halfway through it.
It's totally. You're right. It's gonna be the Mortal Kombat song, but with bass drops.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
It's adding another soundtrack to the list of albums I will not be picking up.
That's right. Do they still make soundtracks?
I don't know.
I don't think they do anymore. Yeah.
I don't know. Hank, Deadpool 2. You know, we talked last week or 2 weeks ago about Tim Miller dropping out of that one.
Mm-hmm.
What did we say he's doing instead?
I don't remember that.
Me neither.
I don't think we talked about that on the show.
No, we did because we decided it was a
Yeah.
lateral move or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
it was
yeah.
something that
Aaron
was-
heard it. Aaron has heard all our shows.
I can't remember what it was, but yeah, it was definitely not a lateral move.
Yeah. So they've got a replacement director now, and it's
Oh, I heard about this.
one of the fellas who made John Wick.
That's right.
I actually like John Wick. I've mentioned that before. That came up when we were doing The Matrix.
That's got potential as long as he can capture the same sense of humor as the first one.
Yeah, that's true.
They're making a third one like directly after it though with a different director. They haven't said who that's going to be yet, but I want them to get the Crank guys.
That would be cool. I could see
Wow.
that.
I think they'd be perfect.
So 3 Deadpool movies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Aaron, any word on if Jihei is going to be working on Deadpool 2?
That's right. Superhero count. My wife worked on the first Deadpool movie. Specifically, that scene where the scene on the bridge with all that fighting and stuff. You know, with all them Deadpools.
Oh, yeah.
and guys.
Sure. With
The Colossus.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Yeah,
That's right.
Good
Yeah.
name.
Yeah. Okay. How about this Han Solo picture that's coming out? Emilia Clarke from the Game of Thrones was just added to the cast.
Ooh.
How do you feel
Okay.
about that?
I'm happy. I'm happy with anything with Emilia Clarke. Makes me happy.
Every time I see a movie now, and there's someone in the movie that I think is a bad actor, and then I go on IMDb to find out who they are.
They're on
they
Game
are
of Thrones.
always a Game of Thrones actor. It happened just this week. I watched that X-Men Apocalypse, and I
Yeah.
was like, this Jean Grey sucks.
Yeah.
And it was a Game of Thrones girl.
There you go.
Yeah.
So what is the Han? Who? Tell me. What? Go more about the Han Solo movie.
I don't know. She's going to be in it. Whatever.
Well, who's Han Solo in
I
it?
think it's like an unknown guy.
All right. Who's directing it?
Oh, I'll look it up.
No, I thought you. Well, you brought it up.
Well,
Richard Linklater.
I'd
he
go
can
to
do
that.
it, man. He did the Bad News Bears remake.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dan. Yeah, okay. So you were just throwing that out there. You didn't have the
That's
deets.
just new news.
Got
That's
it.
all.
Got it. I don't really care, so that's fine. Yeah.
I'll tell
Are
you who's directing it is that Phil Lord and Christopher Miller from the
Oh.
21 Jump Street pictures.
Okay.
Uh.
Weird. Okay.
Not a fan of those films. Sorry, guys.
I am.
Oh, I am
And
too.
I think they're talented. They did that. I haven't seen it because I'm an adult, but they did that Lego movie. And,
Well, that movie was actually pretty good. Even
that's-
speaking
that's
as an
what they
adult.
say. Yeah. And Hank, they did the Last Man on Earth pilot.
Oh, I love that show.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I fucking love that show. Yeah, we are all we're all in our 30s now. Isn't that something to talk about?
It's true.
Wow.
I was the lone holdout,
You were.
and I'm here.
Welcome
now.
to the club, buddy. It's
Thank
Yep.
you.
all downhill from here.
You got that right.
All right, couple more bits of news here.
Mm.
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them sequel already being worked on.
Mm.
And Johnny Depp is going to be in it.
Oh, that's a shocker.
Is he playing a pirate?
Ugh.
I don't know. Is he playing a wife beater?
Oh.
Oh, I didn't catch that right away.
Or
Okay.
imitates life?
Is he smuggling dogs into a Harry Potter franchise?
Where does he smuggle dogs?
Him and that girlfriend of his that isn't his girlfriend anymore. They illegally smuggled dogs into Australia and got arrested for it or some shit. Don't you remember that story?
Oh, kind of.
They had to do a video apology for it.
Yeah.
Why isn't she his girlfriend anymore, do you think?
She
Beats
doesn't
me.
like his makeup. Oh, nice. Say that again, because that was a little bit muted by our laughter.
Let's do it again.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it again. Why isn't she his girlfriend again?
Beats me.
I don't appreciate you taking my line, Henry.
Let's do it again. You say.
No,
the,
I'm done. I'm out.
You say the line.
No. Okay, Columbia Pictures is rebooting Starship Troopers,
Okay.
and they have hired the guys who wrote that new Baywatch movie with The Rock to work on it.
Oh. Damn it. This is going to be just like the RoboCop reboot where it's going to like lose all of the social commentary
It's
that
gonna
has
be
sucked.
worse.
I saw that. Did either of you see this?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't.
It's fucking horrible. I mean, I figured it would be, but it's even worse than I thought it would be.
I'll,
Oh,
I'll see it for the podcast eventually.
right.
Mm.
Hey, Showtime. No, I'm not making a Beetlejuice reference. The network, Showtime. They're doing a remake of American Gigolo.
Oh my God.
What?
That's right, the Richard Gere film.
Yeah. So that's a good movie. Yeah.
It is. This just continues the trend of every TV show being turned into a movie.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you said you liked that movie. I thought you might shit on me for that.
No, I love that movie.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
Tune in on Tuesdays on USA, by the way, for Shooter.
God.
Yeah. And the last bit of news I have is will take us directly into our movie this week. Olivia Munn,
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
professional jerk-off material for nerds, has been added to the cast of Shane Black's The Predator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So let's get started there. The Predator, there have been 3 movies and 2 crossover movies with the Alien franchise, all of which we'll be covering over the next 3 episodes. How do you feel about Shane Black being the guy to to reboot it, and we'll be revisiting that question when we finish the franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You want me to go first, or you want Aaron to go?
whoever, I don't care.
Yeah. Look, I'm split on it. I'm happy because I think Shane Black. I mean, I think his heart is 1,000% into this character, this franchise. So I'm really happy that he has.
He for people who don't know, Shane Black wrote the first Lethal Weapon movie
Right.
and directed Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, The Nice Guys, and Iron Man 3.
Right, and the A-Team.
He wrote that. He didn't direct it.
No, he directed it.
He definitely
really?
didn't.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
No, I'm
Aaron,
going to look it up. You talk.
Okay, yeah, Aaron and me. Remember we saw that in the theater? How fucking horrible it was.
Oh, that was bad.
Yeah,
That movie gave me motion sickness. I don't usually get like motion sickness, but it was too much of that steady cam thing.
It was awful.
Yeah.
So my worry is that, and I didn't like Iron Man 3. I thought it was one of the weakest Marvel movies. So I just hope the Predator is less kinetic. If he's directing the Predator as in the same vein as he did Iron Man 3, I hope it's just more measured and steady, like McTiernan.
But I loved Kiss Kiss Bang Bang
So
and
did
The
I.
Nice Guys.
I didn't
Yeah.
see Nice Guys. Yeah.
Mhm.
So did you look that up yet?
No.
Okay.
I'm
yes.
working on it.
So how do you feel about Shane Black doing it, Aaron?
I'm stoked. I think he was a good choice. I mean, he was not only a big part of the writing in the original one, but he was, actually an actor in it.
Right.
So hopefully he can, recall some of the memories of working on it and try to bring it as close to the original Predator as far as like the tone.
Did you read, Aaron, and Dan for that matter, did you read that Joel Silver put him in this movie because as a favor for writing Lethal Weapon? And
Yeah, I did.
That's funny. I never knew that.
Henry, not only did Shane Black not write or direct the A-Team, he had nothing to do with it whatsoever.
Was it Joe Carnahan?
It was Joe Carnahan.
I didn't even look that up. That just occurred to
A
me.
vastly inferior writer and director.
I'm very sorry, Dan. My apologies to you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you accept my apology?
I do.
Okay, good. I still did not like Iron Man 3. So, but having you tell me that, because I was so convinced, that then changes my opinion. It makes it even more positive that he is going to possibly direct the Predator. So
I'm cautiously optimistic, and I really don't think the Predator series is a sacred cow by any means.
No, not at this point.
I mean,
yeah,
at
well,
no point,
Aaron has a point there. Not at this point.
at no
but-
point.
Oh, that's not true. I don't agree with that. Absolutely a fucking sacred cow. For sure it is. Why wouldn't it be?
Because 2 years after the first Predator, they made Predator 2.
Fine, but the first movie still stands as something that really shouldn't be fucked with. And if it is, it needs to be done well.
I think it's fine to fuck with Predator.
I don't
The
agree.
aforementioned Starship Troopers, better movie.
Whoa. All right, I gotta go, guys.
Bold statement.
I'm gonna go. I gotta go feed my raccoon.
All right, let's get into Predator because I'm excited
All right.
to talk about it.
Boy, that was a downer statement. All right, yeah, let's go.
Predator, directed by John McTiernan, hilariously written by Jim Thomas and John Thomas.
Yeah. Who
John
did not go on to have very illustrious careers.
John Thomas went on to have a career as what British people call their dicks. Yeah. No, they're mostly like all their credits on IMDb are like characters created by for this
Right.
Sega Genesis game.
I thought the funniest thing about them when I Wikipedia'd them is on Jim Thomas's page. It says something like, Jim Thomas is always mentioned with his brother, and together they collaborated on this and that. Then you go to John Thomas's page, and it's the identical paragraph, almost like it was copied and pasted to each other's pages. It says, John Thomas went to work with Jim Thomas and collaborated on everything they did together. It's like, oh boy, these guys don't even have the individuality to have their own Wikipedia page.
Well, that's kind of sweet. Like, two brothers just, bonding together on literally everything they do.
Yeah, they watched Rocky 4, right, and came up with this idea. Did you read that?
Yeah,
No.
yeah. It was. They thought it was a funny, because Dolph Lundgren is so massive and ridiculous in Rocky 4 that they said if they ever do a Rocky 5, he's gonna have to fight an alien.
Right.
Yeah, and then they came up with Predator. The premise of Predator is
Wait, Dan. I'm sorry. You want to say what happened? The box office budget?
Yeah, okay. It was released June 12th, 1987, summer release. A budget of $15 million, which is
nothing.
Pretty impressive.
Very
it looks good.
That blew my mind.
Yeah.
I never knew that until we did this. Yeah.
Box office at $98.3 million.
That's a hit.
It's a big hit. Number 12 in box office for that year.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's even higher than I thought it would be. I thought it was still going to be low. Okay.
Yeah, it's a weird year.
Right, it is a weird
1987, because it's like movies that you think are huge hits. Like I saw RoboCop was like number 16 or something.
Oh wow!
But like number 1 is Three Men and a Baby.
Okay.
And the movies right around Predator are weird too. I wrote them down. Like it's just below. So like 10 and 11 are Dirty Dancing and The Witches of Eastwick.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can I guess what like number 2 or 3 were?
I don't have it up, man.
Oh, okay. It's okay.
But 13 and 14, right behind Predator, were Throw Mama from the Train and Dragnet.
Oh my God! I used to love both those movies when I was a kid. I haven't seen them in.
Dragnet.
I used to love Dragnet. When I was a kid.
Terrible.
When I was
that's
a kid.
the Aykroyd one, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was a kid. I don't know if I guess according to you, it definitely does not hold up. I mean, have you seen it?
I saw it when I was a kid. I thought it was stupid.
I loved it. Oh my God, I love. That's before Tom Hanks became a serious actor.
That's right.
That is true. Yeah, he hadn't even done Big yet, which
Nope.
I feel like was sort of the transition. Every comedy actor has that one where it's still a comedy, but he's stretching a little bit on
Yeah, for me that's for me with Tom Hanks, it's unabashedly Philadelphia. That's when he.
No, but that's a dramatic movie. I mean, like there's like that sort of mid-range one where it's still a comedy, but it's more of an adult comedy.
Ooh.
For a second there, Henry, I thought you said Philadelphia was a comedy.
A lot of laughs in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
it's Big, man. That was a comedy.
Yeah.
No
I
Bruce
figured-
Springsteen song.
I figured Beverly Hills Cop 2 was probably one of the biggest box office.
That's up there. I remember that being high.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah. But no, Throw Mama from the Train's interesting though, because that's Throw Mama from the Train and Witches of Eastwick are weird movies.
Yeah, they
I
are.
kind of like in 1987 people were trying shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't even mean filmmakers. I mean like audience goers.
Right, of course. Yeah.
I think it's really the only era where like Tim Burton could have become like a really major movie director.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Oh, I know another one that had to be in the top 5. Absolutely, I know it was. I'm not looking it up, but Fatal Attraction.
Yeah, that's high. I don't remember if it was top 5, but it's really high.
I bet it was. Yeah.
Probably. Okay. So,
All right.
Predator also nominated for an Oscar that year.
Yeah.
Best
Oh.
visual effects. It lost to Inner Space.
That's a bad movie.
I don't think I've seen it.
Really?
Dequade?
I saw it. Yeah, Dequade. I saw it in the theater.
Yeah, well, I was 1.
I was 9.
Yeah.
Aaron was 3.
Let's
I
do
remember
our
seeing that
math.
movie, but I don't. I have no recollection of that movie whatsoever.
Yeah.
I think I remember the cover of it more than anything.
I was kind of in love with Meg Ryan back then, so I remember that. That's about it.
Well, I was in love with Meg Ryan, too, but, like, not till Harry Met Sally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember being a kid and being obsessed with the scene where they fuck for the first time.
Oh, that I thought you were gonna say the diner scene.
No, I think I was too young. Like I was like really young. This is like early hints of like, oh, I think I like girls.
Right.
So I didn't know what was going on during that diner scene, but I remember like when they would kiss in like that bed scene, I was like, oh, something's happening.
All right.
Yeah, Meg
so
Ryan.
you wanna give a plot outline before we get into the credits and stuff, or what do you want to do? Credits still, or we're still doing credits, right? With the writer.
Predator is an alien. He gets sent down to Earth, and he's hanging out in a jungle, and he sees people in like light frequencies, right? Like
yeah, Aaron, why don't you give like thermal, like infrared, right?
Yeah,
that's right. Thermal imaging.
Yeah, I think we're in. This is like Aaron. I didn't mean to cut you off, Dan. It's like Aaron territory here. I thought.
Don't boast me of that much. No, it's. But they did actually use like heat sensitive cameras for that, and they had to shoot it side by side with the real camera to try to doctor up some of the regular footage whenever the heat stuff didn't work out. But also was a problem because it was really fucking hot in the jungle, so it was hard to get them get the temperatures to show up properly on with the heat sensitive cameras.
That's one of the best parts of the movie, though, that they actually went and shot in a jungle.
Yeah, it really is.
Because then you can shoot it on kind of a low budget, because then you just have to worry about visual effects and stuff. Like, the scenery is right there for you.
Yeah.
The movie looks great.
I also read that at night it was so fucking cold that they had heat lamps going on at all times because people were getting like hypothermia and stuff.
Yeah. I love stories like that. Oh, it was so difficult filming a major motion picture. Go fuck yourself.
I'm with you on that, dude. You actually voiced something that I think probably a lot of people think but never say, and I'm one of them. Well, I'm not one of them. I say it all the time, but I've never said it on the podcast. Like you're saying, like, oh, what a hard life, like complaining about that hard shoot you had. Like, that's your life, and that's what you're complaining about it.
Those dickheads where they're like, oh, for Saving Private Ryan, we went to boot camp.
For a week.
That was a real boot camp, guys.
Yeah, I hate that. That's actually that's the worst. I hate that in army movies or in cop movies when they're like, yeah, we went on patrol, and you're like, well, how long did you go on patrol? Oh, we went on like 2 full shifts. It's
my God.
Oh, wow. You really...
I couldn't have ahi tuna for 5 days.
Oh, no. I heard an interesting interview with Jesse Ventura when he was talking about like the boot camp process for this, because like everyone was like kind of, they weren't used to that sort of thing. But Jesse Ventura is, I think he's an ex-Navy SEAL.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
And in the interview, he's just like, the one good thing is that at least the instructor didn't have to instruct all of us. I was fully prepared to know all of the blah, blah, blahs of... I don't know. But basically, he was ready to go, and he thought that his training set him aside from everyone else. He kept on bragging in the interview about how much more prepared he was than everyone else. And
he's an American hero.
Yeah. He's something.
Yeah.
Kid hero.
Yeah.
So the plot, I mean, essentially, these guys are this team. Carl Weathers' character Dylan hires Schwarzenegger's team of a rescue team, ostensibly to rescue some people, and it's really not the mission at all. Dylan wants them to kill these guerrillas and steal precious CIA papers. And then the movie really kicks off because all the people that they've already been sent another team to do this, and they've all been killed off by an unknown thing.
Speaking of gorillas, the characters in this movie are just a collection of apes. And why did you even bother saying that? Why did you even bother saying that about like the papers and the gorillas in the jungle? Like this movie, it's so meaningless. Everything plot-wise.
I'm sorry, I was doing a plot outline.
But all you have to do. Hey, they're in the jungle. There's an alien who's invisible, and they have to fight it. That's it.
But like it starts off. I mean, besides the whole
Sorry, I thought we were
intro
doing
where
hot
this.
intros.
Besides the intro where it shows the outside of Earth and the spaceship getting shot into down to Earth, it feels like a genuine like Rambo Commando style action film. You almost forget that it's a sci-fi film until
Yeah, that was
until people
my
started
point.
getting laser blasted.
That was my point. Thank you, Aaron. Jesus. Because it starts off as something totally different, and then an alien shows up. That's why I said that.
But Dan, you are right. There are beefcakes abounding in this. There's a lot of buff dudes in this.
It is ridiculous. There is legitimately one female character that we see one woman in the 2-hour time frame of this movie.
She's very well developed.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, they what was her script must have been a paragraph long for the entire film.
More like let no words and just kind of directions, like make this facial expression.
Henry, don't you have like a weird crush on that lady?
Yeah, I kind of do.
I watched this movie with you once, and
Yeah.
you talked about her the entire time.
Yeah. Maybe we were drinking.
Probably.
Yeah, no, she's very cute. And she's good in it. I mean, for her, she's committed. I have
Oh
nothing.
God.
No, what am I going to say? You're gonna trash the woman in the movie, or just the writing of her?
Well, I mean, there is very little good acting in Predator.
I don't agree with you. I think everyone is completely serviceable.
Okay. I love you defending the Shane Black character, too. I called them apes, and you said, what, not the Shane Black character?
That's true, because he's not. He's like looks like me.
Yeah,
Or you.
but you're talking about a character who we meet, and
Then dies immediately.
and his only 2 lines of dialogue in the entire movie are pussy jokes.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Hey, I know one of Aaron's favorite parts of the movie is also one of mine in the beginning when they're in the choppers and they're listening to Little Richard.
Long Tall Sally, like best use of that song in any movie, I'd say.
I completely
Ever.
agree.
Ever.
It's a really nice touch.
It's great.
And I also think musically the score is nice because it is so testosterone overload, this movie. The score could have been just generic booming action garbage. And they got
not.
Alan Silvestri coming off of Back to the Future.
Crossover.
And and it's got a little bit of the lightness of touch that he brought to that movie. It was interesting.
If I could just say about the score, because it's kind of my department, it's always been, I think, and I have no hesitation in saying it, Dan, please hammer away at me. It is one of the greatest movie scores ever written.
It's one of the greatest action movie scores.
Yeah, no, for me, it is. I don't care about the category or genre of movie when I hear a score. It does not matter to me, and it is such a powerful, perfect score. His orchestration is phenomenal. The usage of every instrument and all of its placement, which I guess we got to give credit to the editors.
Mm-hmm.
The placement of every musical cue is perfect, and the music is almost. I think I was actually going to ask you guys your opinion. The music is almost non-stop, right? There's very few.
Well, there's very little dialogue in the movie.
Right.
So
the last half hour, there's none.
Mm-hmm.
But even throughout, I think Schwarzenegger has fewer than 20 lines of dialogue in the movie.
Yeah.
And I think most of them are probably improvised. Like, I know that stick
Really?
around line. Yeah, I know that stick around line when he threw the knife into the guy's chest. And
Yeah.
I think knock knock and a couple other ones he'd probably just let him improvise.
I didn't think he was capable of improvisation. I got to be honest.
Well, I mean, he's not writing Shakespeare.
Stick around. That is great.
Yeah.
By the way, I had a note here for the beginning, like sometime at the beginning when they're stomping around the forest. Did any of you guys catch the scene where they kick an actual live vulture?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. Oh, and it's definitely a real vulture.
It's.
Oh, yeah.
I was so shocked by that because like nowadays that would not fly. And it was.
I don't think that
vulture's
vulture
never
flew.
flying again.
Oh, we went for the same joke.
Well, it's happened a couple times today,
Yeah.
Dan. I don't know what to say.
We're in sync.
We are in sync. Hey, can I give a shout out to one of the reasons I said the acting wasn't all bad was because to me, I want you guys to guess who I thought without question is the worst actor period in this movie.
Sonny Landham.
Yep.
And
He is fucking awful. I
Is he
mean,
the Native American fella?
yeah, the magic Indian stereotype.
according to
Sure.
his IMDb, he's an actor with a powerful physique, booming voice, and has played several Native American characters.
Yeah.
He's fucking awful. And spoiler alert, he's my LVP, and that's also because he's a real piece of shit in real life.
Maybe he plays Nightwolf in that new Mortal Kombat movie.
Oh, could be.
Yeah, he's like 80 years old now, so whatever.
Interesting story about Sonny Landham. Supposedly, the producers would not let him on set unless they hired a bodyguard for him, not to bodyguard him, but to keep him from basically hurting anyone else on the crew.
What?
'Cause, yeah, it's like
Why? What is it? What is he? Some kind of sick maniac?
No,
He's
he
a
just
savage.
no, come on.
He
No,
showed
he-
up to the set with a feather in his hat. I mean,
And a
what?
tomahawk.
Yeah, I mean, what's going on here?
He's a
Dan?
guy who liked to party. As soon as they called cut, he liked to go party. But I guess when he partied, he got a little bit carried away in the past
Yeah,
and
man. When
got
I
a little
get
violent.
when I get drunk, I start scalping motherfuckers.
Wow, they had to get General Custer on the set there to make sure there wasn't another little bighorn happening. Am I right?
Yeah, seriously, that has to be some kind of veiled racism. Because I mean, Schwarzenegger is a notorious party guy too, and I got to imagine Jesse the Body Ventura can put him away.
Oh,
But
yeah.
but maybe this guy, I don't know. Maybe he's just more of a violent.
Yeah,
drunk.
no, I believe it. I mean, he could be. I mean, I don't know. The only thing I remember Sonny Landham being in that I'm sure he's in other stuff, but I remember him in 48 Hours. Do you guys remember him in that?
No.
He's one of the bad guys. Him and actually a great.
Oh
actor.
shit! You're right.
Right? You remember that, Aaron? He's the one on like Eddie Murphy's trail, like trying to kill him. Him and that other great character actor, Dan. You know this character actor. I think his name's James Remar.
Love James Remar.
Yeah, isn't he great? Yeah. Anyway,
Wait, James Remar or James Rebhorn? There's two.
no,
of them.
no, very different actors.
Yeah.
James Rebhorn, R.I.P.
He's dead?
Yeah, he died a few years ago.
Hey, I want to give a quick RIP, Hank.
Yeah.
First guy we've talked about on the podcast to die.
Oh, who?
Superman 3's Robert Vaughn passed away.
Oh,
Oh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did
Yeah.
what he could with that movie. Did what he could. Did what he had to do. We we actually praised him, as I recall.
I like Robert Vaughn a lot. I feel bad. I do not feel bad about anything we said on the podcast.
No,
about
but we
Robert
didn't
Vaughn.
say anything bad about him.
No, he's good.
Yeah. Well, R.I.P. Another R.I.P. to the. And I gotta say, well, we're just into the movie now. We're just going all over the place, which is great. The Kevin Peter Hall, who plays the Predator, he died about 4 years after this movie. Did you
Really?
guys- yeah, he contracted HIV through a blood transfusion.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, horrible death. And
I know he was in Harry and the Hendersons.
yeah, he
right
was
around
in
the same
that.
time.
He was in this, and he was in Predator 2, and then he got HIV and he died. And I was thinking about when I was watching the final scenes when like the showdown between him and Arnold, which is just fucking awesome.
Yeah.
He is because I read about the Jean-Claude Van Damme thing. You guys,
Oh yeah.
Yes, Jean-Claude Van Damme was originally cast as the Predator, because they figured he'd be able to do his splits and shit and like be real agile and fast. And then because everyone in the entire cast is like 6'5", like 350 pounds, they figured we need a taller guy.
Right.
And also he was pissed off because he's like, nobody can see my face, and he's like, how am I supposed to do my kung fu in this ridiculous suit? Which, by the way, if you go and watch the YouTube early test clips of the suit is completely different from what the Predator looked like.
I
in the final
heard
cut.
about that, and I really want to see that now. I heard
It's-
it looks more like a dog.
It
Yeah.
is ridiculous. But
You seen that, Dan?
No, but I read what you read.
Yeah.
and another thing was they had to paint it bright orange so that way they can do all the CG stuff in post because it needs to contrast against the green background. And one of the things Van Damme was pissed off about is he's like, this is the stupidest, I'm going to get the accent wrong. This is the stupidest looking costume I've ever seen. I mean, how is this alien supposed to be all bright red? It does not look like an alien.
Actually, Aaron, that's a very good impression. I like that a lot.
It's not bad.
I was just thinking, like, did he probably thought that was the final suit?
He's
like,
so fucking vain. He's fucking vain anyway. I'm glad he didn't fucking do it, because I was going to bring something up because Aaron's heard the episode, and Dan, I wanted your opinion on this. Remember how I kept talking when we covered Friday the 13th Part 6? How that's my favorite Jason?
Right.
Because he's very like lithe and he's like slim and balletic. And I think in this final showdown, I never really paid attention to how Kevin Peter Hall, because I don't, usually when there's someone behind in a mask thing, they don't get any credit. And a lot of times, like, fine, they don't
What
deserve
about Kane
any.
Hodder? He gets plenty of credit.
Yeah. Too much. And so this guy, though, his movements are so cool. Like, just the way he, like, tilts his head and, like, walks. I mean, he is so, like, terrifying and imposing. I'm just a real big shout out. Like, he is really
imposing.
good.
I got 10.
And it's not just his height. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he's totally imposing. And it's so well directed, the final fight between Schwarzenegger and the Predator, that I was watching it last night, and so he figures out that if he puts mud all over him, then the Predator can't see him because he sees body heat, and the mud covers it.
Right.
And there's that one part where he falls off that cliff. And he like lands in the water and he loses his mud. Right. And I was so into the movie that when he like surfaced from the water and he didn't have the mud on him anymore, I said out loud, "Oh no."
That's great.
Yeah.
No,
I was
great-
scared for him.
That makes me happy.
Great scene, like really cool idea with the mud, and I think the direction as far as like a creature feature, a guy in a big rubber suit, this has got to be one of the best.
What did you guys think of the cinematography of the movie? We briefly touched on it about how beautiful it looks in terms of the jungle, but I looked up the guy who shot it, and his name's Donald McAlpine.
Okay.
And he's actually done a shit ton of famous movies. And only one of them there's like two of them where I could say, oh yeah, that's a good looking movie, but like only two movies that I actually like. And those two movies, one probably neither of you have seen, but I think both Dan at least knows it's one of my favorite movies, Moscow on the Hudson with Robin Williams. And he shot The Edge with Anthony Hopkins. And
I love that movie.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I love it too. And he shot that, and he shot Moulin Rouge, which
Probably
is
got
terrible.
nominated for an Oscar for that.
Right. And Dan and Aaron will both fucking love this. Guess what else he shot?
I don't know.
Actually, technically, I could add him to my superhero count. Should we add?
No, it's only actors.
No, that's not true. Directors count too.
Fine, directors.
Okay. Okay, so no cinematographers. That's fine. That's fair. But he shot X-Men Origins Wolverine, which, as you recall, is a beautiful looking movie.
Yeah, the worst of the X-Men movies. There are 1,000 of
Wait
them.
a minute. No, it's not.
Oh, good point. X-Men 3: The Last Stand.
Shot by your nemesis.
Yeah, my nemesis is Brett Ratner.
Aaron was there when that happened, right?
When they shot the film?
No.
Wait, we're not telling the story.
No, I know we're not. I was just asking. That's all I was asking. If Aaron was there during the Brett Ratner incident.
When I had a fight with Brett Ratner at Barnes & Noble.
Oh, shit. I'm not sure if I was there, but I remember hearing about it shortly
We're not gonna
thereafter.
talk about it yet. We have to wait till we cover Brett Ratner. But
Hey, as long as you're bringing up the DP, I want to talk about the casting director.
sure.
Now, it's a weird movie because it's a very small cast. I think there are only like 16 people in the credits at all,
Right.
and we really only spend any amount of time with like 6 or 7 of them. And this movie, the casting director was this lady, Jackie Birch.
Yeah, I knew that name, but I didn't look her up. So
Well, she
I'm
was the
glad.
casting director on Die Hard, so we already talked about her a little
Oh,
bit. But before doing these big action movies, she had been the casting director on all the big John Hughes films.
Oh.
Huh.
And so the person who put together this small cast for Predator is the same person that put together the cast of The Breakfast Club,
Wait.
which is, you know, I think one of the most perfect jobs of casting in the history of film.
No argument here.
Yeah. And so I think she does another really great job with this movie. And it's a very different movie, so she sees she can't pull from that casting pool exactly.
You're right. Couldn't get Judd Nelson.
Right. But the studio comes to her. They've already cast Schwarzenegger. And, I mean, she fills out the rest of the cast with some really interesting choices. Carl Weathers, Jesse Ventura. I'm a big fan of Bill Duke,
Oh,
me
yeah.
Too,
character actor, who always looks incredibly evil to me. He's got this. He's a very dark-skinned black guy, and around his eyes, he has this layer of skin that's almost like charcoal black.
Yeah.
And he has this way of making his mouth and eyes just totally slack to make it look like he doesn't give a shit about you at all. I find him like genuinely scary in certain roles.
That's really interesting.
And I've always liked him. He's also a director.
I know. I don't
really?
think I've ever seen it. What did he direct?
Well, we will cover him on this podcast because he
Ooh.
has directed a sequel.
Oh.
That's right. Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit.
Oh, God. Oh.
I might not come back for that one.
Hey, Lauryn Hill's in it, bro.
Hey,
Oh.
I wanted to ask you guys something else I noticed that I never noticed before or thought about was I thought one of the masterful decisions by probably McTiernan. Well, it had to be McTiernan's choice. This movie does what, and I'm not comparing them in terms of greatness, but it has a similar philosophy. If you disagree, please tell me. It reminded me of, it has kind of a Jaws-like thing going where you don't see the creature for fully until the 54-minute mark. And so it's kind of like Jaws in that you get glimpses, like you get like a fin or like an eye, and you get that great sequence, which I love the sequence when they shoot the predator and he bleeds and then he
fixes up his leg wound.
I love
Yeah.
We really
like,
only see his legs and his
what
hands.
a great idea. Like, who thought of that? Like, when I saw that, I was like, that is so original to, like, show the creature, like, fixing himself. You know what I mean?
It's also brilliant because it uses... in that scene, we see his blood. His
Right.
green blood, and that's how Schwarzenegger tracks him at the end of the movie. And so, not only is it just cool looking, but it's really smart, really efficient foreshadowing and setting up for later in
Yeah.
the movie.
Did you read what the blood was made out of?
Yes, I did.
Aaron, please.
It's made of that stuff that's inside of glow sticks and KY jelly.
Yep.
That's funny.
Aaron, what about? Do you know anything about? Because I looked him up a little bit. He did The Thing and Aliens, the second Alien movie, and Jurassic Park. Stan Winston,
Mm-hmm.
the special effects guy.
Oh, he's legend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've covered most of the ones I was going to bring up. I know when they were working on the actual creature face for Predator, because like I said before, they had a whole different costume for the Predator, and I guess the production got put on hold for a little bit because of, I think, budget problems or something. So there was like a big gap of time between the shoots. So in that time, they decided to revamp the Predator, and supposedly he was on a plane.
With James Cameron.
That's right. Yeah, he
Man.
was sketching out ideas for a new face, and then James Cameron was sitting next to him, and I think James Cameron was the one who's like, I've always wanted to see an alien with like mandibles, like and that's how we added it to it. So we have James Cameron to thank for that.
Wow,
That's about all we have James Cameron.
You goddamn right on that. Fucking A. And unfortunately, we're going to be covering James Cameron on this show.
When we do Avatar 4.
No, when we do the Terminator.
Oh, good point. And Aliens.
Yeah. Oh, I had a question for you guys. I had a lot of questions because I wanted you guys' opinions on a lot of this stuff. I never figured out when Shane Black gets killed
Mm-hmm.
and they look to see like when he says, "Is that where's his body?" or "Is that him?" and Poncho goes, "I can't tell." And like the camera shows, like, what is that camera showing? You know what I'm talking about?
I was baffled by that too. I
I've
actually
always been
distinctly
baffled by it.
remember thinking I got distracted in that moment and being too lazy to rewind it.
No, you weren't, because I've been watching this movie for like, fucking 30 years, and I've never figured out, like, it looks like a bunch of entrails, but it's such a strange line to say, like, find Hawkins' body, and then
Is it that he was killed so fucking thoroughly that he's just unrecognizable at
But
this point?
then it's contradicted, because later on they show the Predator hanging Hawkins' body from a tree, and you see his face and his torso.
Was that his body?
Yeah, it's absolutely his body, because at that point he's the only person who's been killed, and it cuts to the Predator pulling up his body. So I'm assuming what happens is he's just, like Dan said, he's so thoroughly killed, but they just see his insides. But it's just very strangely shot. I don't really get that choice. But
Yeah.
all right, so you guys were just as baffled as I was.
yeah, not the shining moment of this film.
No.
Yeah.
Speaking of kills, so Jesse Ventura's. This is something I've noticed on this last watching that I completely forgot. But on the scene when Jesse Ventura gets killed, he's walking through the forest with his big Gatling gun.
Old Painless.
Yeah. Did any of you guys notice he's wearing an MTV shirt?
He's
Love
wearing that the entire movie.
Love it.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
But did you notice he gets shot through the chest through the MTV shirt? You think that's like their subtle like fuck you to MTV at the time?
Oh,
this is
yeah.
right when
Yeah.
MTV's getting big.
It's like that fucking Bruce Springsteen song, like 65 channels and
And
nothing on.
on.
Yeah.
Wow, great point.
Yeah. That's
This
really funny.
This is how we're gonna give a fuck you to MTV. Yeah. that's good.
My favorite part of that scene was Jesse Ventura's line of dialogue that is totally meaningless and makes no sense at all. Where I don't remember who, but someone says like, "You're bleeding, man," and
Oh,
he
that's
goes,
great.
"I ain't got time to bleed."
Dude, that's a fucking classic line. That's his.
What does that mean?
I think it's the title of one of his books too.
Ah.
I swear to God, I think his like autobiography is called that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Did he think the Predator was real? Is it like a Tropic Thunder situation? Because he sure does talk a lot about aliens now.
Could be, man.
He thought he was actually in a. Point the camera over here, John. This is where he shows up. It's gonna show up here. He's dug in like an Alabama tick.
He's dug in like Hacksaw Jim.
Oh, Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah.
That'd be great if they had just let him go, like let him fly with the references to wrestling.
It would be
Just
great
like-
if they just had him like cut a promo halfway through the movie, where like the camera gets in his face and it's like, "I'm coming for you, the Predator.
the
I'm
Predator.
gonna get on that third rope and give you a superplex into a power bomb."
I'm sure he was hoping that they would have written some sort of a wrestling scene between him and the Predator into the final draft.
Mean Gene Okerlund shows up with Gorilla Monsoon.
Oh my god!
I'm coming for you, Iron Sheik.
He thought they were actually stealing actual CIA documents. He was very excited.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, he thought he was like fucking Robert Evans, like getting recruited by the CIA. The only man for this job is Jesse the Body Ventura.
Wait a minute! What are all these video cameras doing here in this investigation?
I gotta start my own investigation.
God, that wound really hurt. I'm lucky it cauterized my chest.
Oh, that was a nice subtle touch to the script.
The cauterizing?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. It really blew a hole in him. Yeah.
yeah.
I love
Oh, by
Jesse
the way-
Ventura's first line of dialogue.
Oh,
in the movie.
jeez. I completely forgot. I remembered the sexual
yeah!
Tyrannosaurus part, but I completely forgot about the first part of that
Who
line.
wants to say it?
I'll say
Not it.
Yeah.
Not it.
Jesse Ventura just fucking pacing around this helicopter in his MTV t-shirt. We just we're panning around. We see Shane Black. We see Schwarzenegger chomping on a cigar.
Right, like
And
it couldn't
then-
get more possibly.
Oh my
testosterone.
god! You can smell the testosterone through the fucking screen. Like
Yeah.
all of a sudden, my living room just smells like fucking sweaty balls.
Smells like a locker room.
Yeah, and then Jesse Ventura comes in. Bunch of goddamn faggots around here.
Slack-jawed.
Slack-jawed.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Bunch of goddamn slack-jawed faggots. Is that it?
No goddamn. He just said bunch of
okay.
slack-jawed
Please-
faggots
please-
around here.
Please watch the blasphemy, okay?
I didn't mean to take the Lord's name in vain while I was insulting an entire sexual group of people. Yeah.
But I love the follow-up lines like, this stuff will turn you into
Goddamn.
sexual Tyrannosaurus Rex.
That's when he says goddamn. He says this stuff will turn you into a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus, just like me.
Oh, is he talking about his tobacco?
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause supposedly chewing tobacco will make you goddamn sexual Tyrannosaurus, which, by the way, have you ever smelt chewing tobacco when it's being chewed? It's not quite an aphrodisiac.
Dipping away. He's just dipping away. Oh, hey, I had a question,
Nothing
Dan.
turns on a girl more than a guy with a spittoon.
Boing!
Oh,
I
Jesse
had a point to
Ventura.
make, and I can't-
And can I just say,
Yeah,
that
please.
helicopter, it must be the least gay assemblage of human beings in the world, and he's just calling them faggots.
Oh my god. Oh, and you know, for the shooting of this, everyone was working out like as much as they can to try to one up the next person.
yeah.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah,
they were,
Carl,
right?
Carl Weathers said
Yeah,
he would
I read
get
that.
up at 3 a.m. to like, because he wanted to look good next to Schwarzenegger. And when they were doing like the clothes fittings, Jesse Ventura said he was psyched that he found out his arm was like an inch wider than Schwarzenegger's.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh, my
They
stomach
are
hurts.
gigantic.
My
in this
stomach
movie.
hurts.
Yeah.
That scene the scene that exemplifies their gigantism the most is when they're setting the booby trap. And it's literally a shot of Carl Weathers and I guess Schwarzenegger pulling a rope. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
yeah.
I know the one.
Oh,
They're all in a line behind each other, like
It's ridiculous. Yeah, that whole it's like a montage. It's like in fucking Home Alone when Kevin McAllister's setting up his house for these burglars. They're just setting up the jungle for this alien, and like their shots like instead of like Kevin McAllister setting down micro machines, it's just Arnold Schwarzenegger holding a tree.
Notice none of those traps worked.
Not a single one.
Instead
I gotta
of
say, though-
complaining, why don't you help?
They should have consulted Chris Hansen. In
To
those.
catch a predator. Yeah. He knows how to do it.
Hey, Dan, you said Jackie Birch did the casting for The Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Do you think that she tried to get Anthony Michael Hall and then had to get Kevin Peter Hall instead?
Do you think this is why Anthony Michael Hall bulked up in the late 80s?
I think so.
Yeah.
He lost out on being the Predator, so he was like, fuck this, I'm going to bulk up. I don't know if that's how he talks, but...
I think that's a spitting, not spitting image. It's what's the equivalent of spitting image for sound? It's a spitting earful?
Yeah, spitting earful. There you go. It's an eargasm. An eargasm, as Aaron used to say.
Sure. I mean, yeah, it's... But I will say the casting... I can't... I think Carl Weathers got a raw deal in the 80s. Can I say that?
Oh, look at you.
Carl Weathers should have been a movie star.
He got a raw deal playing for the Oakland Raiders for 7 games. Did you read that?
What?
He played for the Raiders for 7 games.
Oh, maybe it's Carl Weathers' own fault he didn't become a movie star.
Yeah, he was a big college football star, like big time, and then he went to the Raiders, and then that was that, like a flash in the pan. But no, continue, Dan. I want to hear this. You think he got a raw deal because you like his like presence or charisma or
Carl Weathers is so far and away, to me, he gives the best performance in those Rocky movies.
He is great. He's great.
He's amazing as Apollo.
He is amazing. He's iconic.
I think in an era now where studios don't want to look racist and they're, most of them are spreading the message of diversity and giving women and black actors more of a chance to break out. In an era where we are building franchises around really talented young black actors like John Boyega and Michael B. Jordan. Like,
I'll give you Michael B. Jordan.
All right.
But I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying. I think in the 80s, the second they were done filming Rocky II, Carl Weathers should have had his own movie franchise.
Well, he got Action Jackson.
Yeah, which is
That's right.
a movie I loved as a kid.
I never saw it.
I watched
never
the
seen
shit
it.
out of Action Jackson.
It's a fun action film, I gotta say.
You've seen it, Aaron?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe that I've never seen it. It
But-
sounded to be right up my alley.
But it's
I don't-
sort of blaxploitation light.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's the 80s and they were in a weird place, right?
What I think what should have happened is like he needed like sort of like a Tarantino sort of reboot where they had like some serious director kind of giving him a second chance a little bit later in his career. I mean, like,
but he never got a first chance.
Well, Rocky. What do you mean?
yeah,
But he's a supporting character in that. Like he should have been the center of a movie. Like, Rocky was a big hit, so all of a sudden you see Schwarzenegger in like Over the Top and Cobra and shit.
Yeah.
Carl Weathers should have had his own Cobra.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
yeah.
Yeah, he is great, and he's the best actor in this movie.
He's my MVP.
Well, okay.
He also, by the way, has great comic timing.
Yeah.
That's true.
Schwarzenegger is given jokes in this movie, and you laugh at them because he's so bad at delivering them.
Oh, I don't agree with that. I'm going to defend Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He is wooden. In a great way. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's perfect in those Terminator movies because he's playing a cyborg. And
he's great in The Running Man.
I was just going to bring up The Running Man. I saw that like less than a year ago for the
Yeah,
first
I
time,
remember.
and I loved it.
Yeah.
I love Schwarzenegger. Nothing against Schwarzenegger, but he's not an actor. He's a presence.
I don't agree with that
The
anymore.
guy just oozes charisma.
He's a specialized actor. Like
I
he
love
can only
this
be put
conversation.
in certain roles. Whereas like anything dramatic, oh my gosh, what was that?
I want to have this conversation though because it's fun, and I disagree. But go ahead. What were you going to say, Aaron, about the dramatic? Did he have?
There was some movie recently. I didn't see it, but I saw the trailer where it looked like him trying to do like a dramatic scene.
Oh, wait a minute!
It's a
I saw
girl's
it.
name. It's a girl's name.
I saw it.
Yeah, and the trailer starts off like it's like dramatic, and then all of a sudden like the daughter gets turned into like a zombie.
Vampire. Yeah, no, a zombie. It's called Maggie.
That's it.
right.
Yeah.
And he is fantastic in it.
Oh, you saw it?
I saw it.
You
yeah.
got a
Wow.
hard on for this guy.
No, I don't. I absolutely don't. You have never heard me in personal conversation.
He's terrible
Let
in
me
dramatic
finish.
roles.
Let me finish. You have never, neither of you have ever heard me talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger like I would speak about, Jack Nicholson or Michael Douglas, or you both know that. No, I don't at all. I think in recent years I've come around to thinking a little bit more of him as an actor. I think he's better than people give credit for. That's all.
Stallone made shitty, dumb action movies for years, and then all of a sudden he showed up in Copland. And you were like, oh my God, hey, Stallone has that in him. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Schwarzenegger couldn't do that.
You don't think he could? I think he could. I think
No,
he did.
I think even in things like End of Days, which is a much more serious kind of Schwarzenegger action movie.
That's a piece of shit. What are you talking
Serious?
about?
He's playing like a retired alcoholic police detective in that movie, and he's awful.
Yeah,
But that movie has so many like still like jumping from explosion scenes with him going.
I know, but I mean,
Yeah,
like,
I mean-
it's more downbeat for like than most Schwarzenegger movies. Like if you look at that next to something from the same era, like Collateral Damage, it's very different in tone.
Well, okay, but I think when you're talking about Stallone in Cobra and Stallone in Copland, I think a better comparison would be Schwarzenegger in Predator and Schwarzenegger in something like Maggie.
Okay, I haven't seen Maggie.
And I think he's a good actor, and I don't think he's just a presence. I think he's a good actor. And actually, in that mediocre action movie, which neither of you, I'm sure, saw, but I saw, Escape Plan with Stallone, you can see them acting together.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, that movie should have been called Brain Trust.
No, I'll give you that. But in their scenes together, there's just no comparison. Like, Stallone is awful.
Whoa.
And Schwarzenegger, and I like Stallone. I like Sylvester Stallone, but Schwarzenegger is funny and actually seems like he's having a good time and is a good actor in that movie.
Stallone doesn't really try much anymore, though, except in Creed.
He suffers from Harrison Forditis.
He's bored. Schwarzenegger took like 12 years off acting, so he's more into it now.
Because we didn't get into that, can we quickly, Aaron, you want to talk about how many governors are in this movie?
Oh Jesus! I forgot to do a proper search on that, but I know Schwarzenegger and Jesse Ventura both were governors, and I remember hearing somewhere that like other parts of the cast were greatly involved in other political things. Like I think I heard that Sonny Landham was heavily involved with like Native American rights and.
Well, let me put the brakes on that for you.
Whoa! Okay, maybe I was wrong.
Sonny Landham, my guys, ran for governor of Indiana.
Okay.
Didn't even get the nomination for governor.
I'm surprised.
One of the reasons was that he said that all Arabs, not Muslims, Arabs should be exterminated, and called them repeatedly in the press ragheads. Kind of lost his mind, and that was the end of his political career. I believe he also tried again to run for representative and lost that. So Sonny Landham, not a good guy.
Not really.
Is Schwarzenegger a good guy?
He's better than Sonny Landham. I don't know. Aaron lives in California. Did Schwarzenegger do anything that
He might have raised a kid that his maid had with his wife.
Yeah, no. I meant about like his environmental stuff.
No, what I heard
that of
what
course
I heard,
he's a scumbag. I'm not saying that. Yeah.
With Schwarzenegger's gubernatorial shenanigans, I heard he wasn't the best governor. That's pretty much what I heard. But that he was out of office by the time I moved out here.
It wasn't the worst. That goes to Ronald Reagan, folks. But anyway, that's that.
When
this has been Political Corner with Dan, Henry, and Aaron.
When Arnold Schwarzenegger heard Donald Trump say, "When you're rich and famous, you can grab women by the pussy," his only reaction was, "It's true."
Jawohl. Yeah.
This guy knows what he's talking about.
He knows what he's talking about. Oh, it took us that long to do an Arnold impression? I didn't think we'd even do it.
Wait, you heard my Arnold impression a second ago when I was talking about him jumping away.
Oh, God, that's one of my favorite Aaron impressions of all time. Dan, do you remember?
I prefer your Van Damme impression.
No, but you know his Arnold when Arnold jumps from an explosion.
Let's do it again.
Well, now you put me on the spot.
No, well, I'll set it up. Okay, so... Aaron, when that scene when he's says get to the chopper and then he falls off the river, what happens then?
Hey, when he falls off the river, is that stock footage?
I love it. I love it if it is.
The picture gets fuzzier for a second.
Yeah, it does. And
it might be a different camera they use for that shot. That's
my
guess.
It's a stuntman, obviously.
I think it's stock footage.
But stock footage of what?
I think they had this stock footage of a guy falling down a waterfall, and McTiernan was like, "Oh, we could use that."
No, I don't.
They probably made the whole movie around that. They're like, "I found this great clip of a guy falling off a waterfall. Let's make a movie around it."
Yeah, and then Joel Silver had to go to like the Thomas Brothers and say like, "How's it going on the script for untitled guy falling off a waterfall film?"
We're still working on it.
I think we cracked it. We came up with an alien. James Cameron has some ideas about mandibles.
Oh my God.
But that footage, we still, I gotta use it. You will, don't worry, John. We got it. Wait, maybe I can throw it in Die Hard. He threw it in the end with when Alan Rickman falls off the building. It was actually going to be used in that. And they couldn't get a waterfall in Nakatomi Plaza.
Man, McTiernan.
Test screeners are a little bit concerned or a little bit confused with this because out of nowhere that goes from being a building to the jungle?
That's Predator 2, folks. Hey, I wanted to ask you guys, what did you watch this on? Like what quality of what? Who had what?
Oh, I got perfect quality, baby. I watched it streaming on my Stars app.
Oh, that's nice. And what about you, Aaron?
I streamed it as well. So
God, I had my I think I told Aaron this the other day when we talked. I had my DVD copy that I bought in like 2003.
Ooh, clamshell?
No. Good call, but no. But quality of it is how shall we put this? Shit. So I really need to buy this on Blu-ray because it's really grainy. I mean, it was kind of cool because it was like watching the old VHS that I had, but
sure.
It was. I figured the two of you were watching a much better looking film than I was watching.
Mine was pretty decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked good. That's why I was able to pick out that one fuzzy shot that looked like stock footage.
Right. And you can imagine on mine what it looked like.
Just a blur.
Yeah. Yeah, I had macular degeneration for 5 seconds. I wanted to ask you guys another question about at the very end, after they have their big fight. I've had two conflicting views of this, and I think they're both valid. And I want to see which one you guys believe. When Schwarzenegger beats him.
You're one ugly motherfucker.
No, but that's great. That's great. He looks down at him and he says, "What the hell are you?" And the Predator looks back at him and says, "What the hell are you?" I always thought that the Predator was like saying to him, like it was almost like a compliment in like defeat, like what are you made of that you were able to beat me? Like what are you? But is that what it is, or is it just yet another repetition of the Predator repeating back a recording of one of the voices he's heard?
Yeah, so we do know that the Predator has this ability, because he's a chameleon or whatever. He can also mimic the vocal intonations of people.
Right.
I mean, and it's extra impressive that he was able to get the vocal stylings of some of the guys in this cast. So I actually, though, agree with you on that front, though. I think he can only speak English using other people's words.
Right.
And so when he says that to Schwarzenegger, I think it is a compliment in defeat, because after that, there's that odd moment
Billy's
where
laugh.
he just sort of bellows maniacally.
But that's Billy's laugh.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Both times, it's definitely him just repeating something else. So I think it's kind of both. It's him only being able to repeat things that he's heard, but then it's also kind of like
It's repurposing the things he's heard.
So you guys agree with me? You think
I do.
yeah.
Yeah, that he's like saying to Schwarzenegger, like what are you made of? I've never encountered anything like you. Yeah, okay, good, because I think that makes it even like so much cooler. Like, and let's just talk quickly about the last.
Because the whole movie it's basically the most dangerous game.
Great reference.
That's right.
Yeah, but it's an alien who's trying to kill these men. You know,
Right.
they're men, manly men.
They're manly men.
Oh, one of my favorite lines that I never noticed, which I actually laughed out loud and then wrote it down, because it's actually one of my girl's only lines that she says is when she's telling her little monologue about how basically the Predator has visited her village before.
Oh my God, I laughed so hard at some of that.
Oh, I-
Okay, right. Okay, good. So it wasn't just me.
I completely forgot about that.
But did you laugh at what I know? I wondered if you laughed at. I mean, you probably laughed at the whole thing. But when she says the line, they sometimes they took their skin, and sometimes much worse. And it occurred to me, I was thinking, much worse than taking their skin?
Yeah, skin not so bad.
Like, what are you like when we see those three bodies jump out at Poncho or is it Billy? I don't remember who sees him first. But like, and they're skinned alive. It's like I'm wondering, wow, what did the Predator do to these villagers? Like,
Sometimes they take their skin, and sometimes their bones, and sometimes a lot worse.
Borat's in the jungle.
Oh.
Like, what's worse than that? Oh my God! What did you?
No, dignity.
Sure.
Predator took their dignity.
Okay,
You want to
real
know?
quick.
Wait, can I just say my favorite part of that? Scene?
Yeah.
I like that the explanation that she gives for the Predator being there is on years when it's very hot, he comes down. It's just amazing to me. It's like, as a village, we have to deal with the Predator when it is unseasonably warm out.
That is kind of a tie-in to the second movie, though. They do make. I think it's supposed to be the hottest time in Los Angeles. I think there is some weird tie-in that I think even crosses over to the comic books as well.
It'd be great if the Predator just showed up halfway through Do the Right Thing.
But give it a slightly different twist to that.
He kicks Radio Raheem over.
Yeah, poor mother sister.
And let's just say, how by the way, how are we doing, Dan, on our?
On time?
Yeah.
We gotta wrap up soon.
Okay, but we still got time for a couple more
Got
obs.
5 minutes, yeah.
How much did you guys like just that final half hour where Schwarzenegger just kind of building like a giant booby trap?
It's another Kevin McAllister moment for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, like this sets
So
like the
great.
presence for like all action movie montages that follow it. I mean, there's a lot of I mean, like, also, what was it, Commando with all the, like, the gearing up and stuff?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Like, Arnold Schwarzenegger pretty much invented the preparing montage for action films. Him and Stallone,
Right, I was just gonna say he did the Rocky work for action film. But I was gonna say another thing about this movie that I love.
I'd have killed off Schwarzenegger with a half hour to go and had that be Carl Weathers.
That would have been awesome.
Ooh.
But then we wouldn't have gotten that awesome Carl Weathers kill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he loses his arm and shit.
Oh,
But
man.
like, I just, to me,
You really, it's just like a Carl Weathers.
I latched on to Carl Weathers. To me, Schwarzenegger could have been any member of that crew.
Mm,
I mean, what's his character's name?
Dutch.
Dutch. Yeah, I don't know. To me, Carl Weathers was the lead of this movie.
Wow. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think Carl Weathers is fantastic, but I think it's Arnold's movie. I think without Arnold Schwarzenegger and you put another protagonist in this, it just won't work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would.
No, it's a two-hander though.
Yeah. I don't want to take anything away from Carl Weathers, but you really think that? You don't think Arnold drives this?
I think Carl Weathers drives it. You can say the same thing about that character. I think this movie is much worse with a different actor in the Carl Weathers role.
Well, that's probably true.
Put Macho Man Randy Savage in that role and see what you end up with.
I'm surprised.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah. Snap into a predator.
Oh, my
And
God.
the lovely Elizabeth. Aaron, you got anything more on Predator?
I got a whole bunch of things.
Well,
but,
go ahead. Shoot them off.
I don't even know how many.
Rapid fire.
There's too many. Okay, well, do you think
Rapid
this is
fire.
where they got the idea for the Expendables? Because they mentioned Expendable a lot
It
in
is
this.
very Expendables. Have you ever
Ooh.
seen any of the Expendables movies?
Yes, I love them, and like they're guilty pleasure. But I after the first one, I was like, oh, this is kind of dumb. But then they kind of like double down on the dumbness
Sure.
each time that it gets. It's just becomes like a amazing train wreck that it's just fun to watch.
I've only seen the first one, but that whole movie is fighting force in a jungle. And I really do think a lot of that movie is influenced by... I think its main influences are probably Predator and First Blood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Good point. What else you got there, buddy?
That's
Alpha Foxtrot.
that's pretty much it that we covered. I mean, everything else is just like random observations. Like, I mean, of course, like Shane Black. The only reason why they hired him as an actor was just to keep him on set to help with script revisions in the making.
I didn't know that.
Aaron, can you say the giant pussy joke?
I don't have it written down.
He might not be comfortable doing that.
He says like, last night I'm going down on my wife, right? And I go, geez, you got a big pussy. Geez, you got a big pussy. And she goes, why'd you say that twice? And I say, I didn't.
Boom.
And then he dies.
What's the other one? Because it's two of them.
We don't need to say both. It's okay. That's
Yeah.
the better one, I think.
Yeah, that's the one that makes Billy laugh, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So that's
Billy. Yeah, Billy had kind of a dumb death.
yeah, what's with? I was going to ask you guys that. What's with the off-screen death of that character? He's like that.
Well,
could have been a cool scene.
The thing is, they make up for it with him getting his skull ripped or his spine ripped out of his body because I think that's his body. So maybe they didn't want to overdose on the first kill because they're like, well, it's gonna get pretty brutal in a second.
That's a good point. Yeah, he had his spine ripped out politically and in the movie. I have a superhero count.
All right, let's do it.
Superhero count. I got 4.
Holy shit.
Last week, Dan shamed the shit
Are you
out of me.
counting Action Jackson?
No.
Okay.
Last week, Dan shamed the shit out of me, so I really had to redeem myself. You really did, Dan. You did a great
I found a lot of superheroes in The Spy Who Shagged Me.
Yeah, you did a really good job. Kudos to you. This week, I think I did a pretty good job. 4.
Okay.
Two of them are in the same movie. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jesse the Body Ventura are in Batman and Robin.
Oh my God, you're
What?
right.
Mr. Freeze. Remember? You don't remember that? He's Mr. Freeze, Aaron.
Well, I know I remember Mr. Freeze, but the other
Jesse
one.
Ventura plays a guard in Arkham Asylum.
Yes, he does. It's the scene where Mr. Freeze is in prison and Uma Thurman comes to break him out. He's
Yeah.
one of the guards. I, do
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
remember
that. Well, although Henry, I'm surprised you thought I didn't remember Arnold Schwarzenegger was in that movie.
Like,
Chill out, Freeze.
Come
The
on.
Iceman cometh.
Oh, Lord.
Tonight's forecast, Freeze.
God, I'm not looking forward to watching that again.
That, by the way, is a good.
I legit once did a drinking game where I drank every time he made a freeze pun, and I blacked out.
I was just about to say that exact same
Blacked
thing.
out at the 32-minute mark.
Is like that. That's a good movie to play a drinking game to. But yeah, you will get shit faced if you're not drinking something like.
It got dangerous.
Yeah. Number 3, Shane Black, director of Iron Man 3.
Good point. Yeah.
And number 4, I'm real proud of this one. Real proud. Peter Cullen is the voice.
Who's
of
Peter
the-
Cullen?
He's the voice of the Predator.
Okay.
Whenever the Predator speaks in that deep baritone, was that actor played the Red Skull in a Spider-Man cartoon.
Weird.
Huh.
And he is also most famously known for, and I love this. This doesn't count as a superhero count. This is just an aside. He is Optimus Prime in the Transformers
That's true.
cartoon.
And the movie.
Yep.
Yeah, they brought him back for the movies.
Peter Cullen. So superhero count. So that's my superhero count, and we can do MVP, LVP if you want.
Okay. First, what are you guys grading this thing?
Aaron,
You want to go first?
5 stars.
I'm going to give it a 5 star as well.
All right, I'm going 4.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah. Whatever.
Well, fair.
4 is good.
Yeah, fair enough. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Whatever.
5 is like almost perfect, and this is not.
I think this movie is more perfect than Die Hard, and
I
give Die Hard
do
5.
not.
Yeah, they're both 5-star movies, but
I don't know. I think this is, like, in my opinion, one of the rare, like, sci-fi action films that go well together. Usually the films either get the sci-fi part right or the action part right, but I felt like this is, like, the perfect, like, amalgamation of...
Yeah, because they don't hit you over the head with the sci-fi thing. It's
Right.
just basically, hey, they say it right off the bat. The opening shot of this movie is we see a field of stars and a spaceship drops the Predator to Earth.
I love that, by the way.
And then for like a long time we don't even deal with the Predator, and it's just like meeting all these fucking knuckleheads.
Yeah.
And to me, that's brilliant because they're telling you right off the bat, hey guys, there's an alien in this movie. We're just letting you know that straight away, and now we can move on with our action movie.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, MVP, LVPs?
I could start.
Yep.
My MVP is Kevin Peter Hall.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
You, nice choice.
Because I was going to say Schwarzenegger, but that's kind of obvious. But also, like, I don't think the Predator would have been as convincing if they went with, let's say Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Fucking A.
Sure.
Who's your LVP?
Sonny Landham. Not just for his on-screen character, but also his off-screen. Hey, we need to have a bodyguard to make sure he doesn't attack our cast.
Dan?
MVP Carl Weathers,
Yep.
LVP the girl.
Oh.
It's such a manly movie. Like this movie, it's just like fucking jizzing all over you. and I mean, this woman, like, I don't even understand why she's just there because it's like, well, we can't not have a woman in this movie.
Right,
So
right.
I just think the movie doesn't cry out for her, and she's not a very good actress. So
I think, though, in her defense, it was probably just script. Like if they would have done anything more with the script, she would have had a little more to work with. But
You're right.
I'm
I'm not placing the blame on the actress. You're right. It's a script problem more than anything else.
Elpidia Carrillo.
Mm-hmm.
That's her name.
Uh-huh.
I did that for Dan.
Thank you.
My MVP is Arnold, and my LVP is also Sonny Landham.
Okay.
So that's that.
All right.
There we go. That wraps up The Predator, but we've got 4 more to go.